as always, by my friend, the old coach, Bill Brandell and William. Two great programs, but a real contrast in styles for folks here in the Class A final.
Well, this should be a great matchup, Mark, and a lot of fun to watch. We have a team from East Lansing that really likes to run the ball. They don't want to come out and just even pretend that they're a passing team. They're going to run it first. It's not as though they can't pass, but just basically they want to establish the run. On the other hand, Brother Rice, they'll run it or throw it. You just never know which. Almost 50-50 as their profile develops through this past year. So, an interesting contrast. Should be a fun game to watch.
You and I have been doing state championship games for, 8 or 10 years here at the Silverdome, and I doubt we have ever seen a championship game before where there were 5 losses between the two title contenders. Rice comes in at 9 wins and 3 losses on their season. East Lansing at 10-2. A lot of past years, these two clubs maybe would not have qualified.
Well, exactly, and of course, Brother Rice had to have some question marks early in the season as they started out with a couple of losses and got on track a little bit, but I think at one time they were 2-3 in this season, and of course, then finished very strong and knocked off some teams that were in playoff contention, and the losses that they had were against some pretty good teams. So they've developed as the year has developed. East Lansing, same type of a situation. They appear to be kind of an up-and-down squad as they have had some pretty strong losses, some big losses in their regular season schedule. But, of course, in the playoffs, they have been super tough, especially on defense.
Now, both of these clubs play against marvelous competition, and so the 5 losses are not a terrific surprise from that standpoint, but both of these clubs are also just peaking at the right time.
Well, they are. Of course, if a coach has to pick a time to be ready, it's got to be when you get to the playoffs, and obviously when you get to a state championship here at the Silverdome.
Mike Vandervelde is our referee, and you saw him signal that the Trojans of East Lansing won the toss. They deferred their choice to the second half, and it was Birmingham Brother Rice, the Warriors, who will choose then to receive to start this football game. East Lansing there traveling in their blue uniforms trimmed in white, and Brother Rice looks a little bit like the Cleveland Browns out there in their white and orange. We have crowned one state champion here at the Silverdome already. Frankfort made it back-to-back titles as the Panthers defeated Portland St. Pat 21-7. 8 championships will be determined here at the Silverdome. Well, football first in Al Fracassa's hands for Birmingham Brother Rice. As mentioned in our pregame, they can do it either way, run or pass. Steve Merchant, the quarterback, has thrown for better than 1,200 yards this year. They have a sophomore running back named Marcus Harvey who has rushed for about that same 1,200 yards, so a lot of weapons for Birmingham Brother Rice, and as mentioned, peaking at just the right time.
Coach Al Fracassa also, Mark, is known for his bag of tricks. He's got a lot of things that he will try on you, and most of the time he likes to do that early. He likes to catch you napping a little bit, maybe not going to his normal situations real quick with his offense, but he wants to loosen you up a little bit, get you back on your heels, so we might look for something tricky early in this ball game.
Mike Core, number 3, will boot it away for the Trojans of East Lansing. Has a great leg, in fact, kicked a school record 45-yard field goal earlier this season. And we are underway. The Class A state championship game. Core's kick chases the Warriors all the way back inside the 5. The running room. Up the sideline for Rice goes Jason Snooks, and he returns it out to about the 45-yard line. Rice will start in great field position.
Well, a nice kick here, but Jason Snooks takes the ball up the sideline. His own teammates, of course, right there cheering him on, and he's got good quickness, good speed, and he puts the Warriors in great field position on their first offensive possession.
Scott Duncan from East Lansing makes what might have been a touchdown-saving tackle. It'll be 1st and 10 for Brother Rice. Steve Merchant, your quarterback, 6 foot 185 and a senior. Will pitch to Marcus Harvey, and Harvey's going nowhere. The
is an even front. They run a 6-2 defense. They're very, very active. Not particularly big on defense, but they like to move around a lot. They use their quickness to pursue to the ball. Great play out of their linebackers. They have been extremely tough in the playoffs defensively.
Second down, we'll call it 11, facing Birmingham Brother Rice on the initial possession of this ball game. He'll run again, fumble! Looks like East Lansing has covered it. Fumble is recovered by Rufus Jackson, number 57. 5'11", 200-pound junior. And East Lansing takes the first break of this football game, a fumble at midfield.
Well, Tom Sudduth from his defensive end spot right in there to make one of the initial hits. He knocks the ball loose, and that quickness for the Trojans pays off as they're able to cover that football. They've got great field position for their first offensive possession.
Mark it at the 48 of Brother Rice. East Lansing tries left side. Fumble again. Give it back to Rice.
Boy, I did not see the fumble in there. The tackle by Brian Hartwell from a defensive end position, but the ball popped loose. Jason Snooks in there with the ball, and he's the one that lost it somewhere. Let's see if we can pick that up. There you see the tackle by Brian Hartwell, and down underneath there, the ball's out of there.
Well, I never did see it come loose, but Brother Rice recovers. They'll start 1st and 10 at their own 46. All as if nothing has happened, I guess. Marcus Harvey breaks it outside. Will lose 2 or 3 yards.
Great pursuit. At least 5 Trojans over there on that pursuit, Mark. You're right. It looks like a team meeting.
Tyson was over there. Cheeseman was there. Do it! Sudduth was there again.
Boy, you can read the whole defensive roster if you wait just a few seconds. What great pursuit, great quickness once again.
Second down, 12, facing Rice. The running plays have gone nowhere, and Merchant will throw. Batted away by East Lansing's Bill Cheeseman from his defensive end spot. It'll be 3rd and 12.
Bill Cheeseman's able to get a hand up, just knock this pass down. It's kind of a little short flare pattern, but there you see Cheeseman just drifting out from his defensive end spot, taps the ball away, an incomplete pass. It's going to bring up a big 3rd down and 12.
10:05 still to play first quarter from the Silverdome. East Lansing and Brother Rice doing battle for the Class A state championship. Merchant wants to throw, has a man open. Depends on the mark. Very close to first down yardage is Sean Johnson, the 195-pound senior running back, on the little flare pass from Merchant, and it'll depend on the mark.
Well, Merchant rolling to his offensive right side. He's able to see Sean Johnson on the sidelines. Johnson brings the ball in, steps down a few yards, and then is knocked out of bounds for the first down.
1st and 10, Brother Rice, the initial first down of this football game. And they're in East Lansing territory, down at the 44-yard line of East Lansing. We've mentioned Al Fracassa, what a great coach he's been over the years at Brother Rice. East Lansing has one who's no slouch in Jeff Smith. Fast approaching that very elite 200 victory club, has 187 wins coming in today. That's Jason Snooks on the carry. Forward for a couple of yards. Great story, Jason Snooks. Little 5'7", 145-pound junior, leading tackler for this team on defense. Kept begging the coaches to let him play offense, and they finally did when the playoffs came a few weeks ago. All he did in his first game was carried the ball 8 times for 59 yards and a touchdown, caught 3 balls for 45 more yards and a touchdown, had an interception, and led his team in tackles.
Not a bad afternoon's work, I would say.
Merchant leads them up, 2nd down 8. Harvey is in motion, and they'll throw to Harvey. First down yardage and then some. Still on his feet down the sideline. Sophomore Marcus Harvey is inside the 20 and down to the 19.
Well, that's going to go down as some big yardage on the pass play, Mark, but this was Marcus Harvey with a run on most of it. As you see him make a defensive player miss there, runs out of a tackle right there, jukes back inside, runs through a couple of other tackles. He's still going down the sidelines, finally runs into a crowd of those blue jerseys and gets knocked out of bounds.
1st and 10, Brother Rice. Dive play to the senior fullback, Sean Johnson, and he fights his way toward the 15. Gain of about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7. As Bill mentioned, Birmingham Brother Rice started this season 0-2. They were drilled by Harrison 32-0. Fell to Ypsilanti 7-6 and found themselves in the very unfamiliar 0-2 territory. Only one loss since then, and Rice playing very well right now. In fact, during the playoffs, they managed to avenge that 7-6 loss to Ypsi. Merchant, right into your living room and incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Pull it off.
Football is marked at about the 15-yard line.
Okay,
Would be a 32-yard field goal try if they were forced to go that route. And Mike Rushwin, who handles their kicking chores, is capable of that kind of distance. Here goes Rice, 3rd and long. Movement, and we'll have to see. In high school football, doesn't matter if folks
I don't think so.
touch or not. The moment someone encroaches into that neutral zone, the flags fly. Just a question of who caused the problem. In this case, it's the defense, and a 3rd and 7 becomes a 3rd and 2.
Well, that can certainly change the play call here on the part of Al Fracassa. I would have guessed a pass play coming up with 3rd and 7, but now a little bit of an option. He's got a big back in Sean Johnson. He can power in the middle, and of course Marcus Harvey quick to the outside.
They'll throw, flags fly as he bounces it out there toward Matt Allen. And let's wait and see.
Well, Matt Allen, by far the favorite receiver for Steve Merchant. He's got 35 receptions in this season so far. That one thrown short as Matt Allen simply took a step downfield, turned around, but the ball thrown down into the turf.
Decision time for East Lansing. They say no. It'll be 4th down 2. Football is at the 10, and no indication from the sideline that Rice is going to kick it. Rice will go on 4th and 2 from the 10. So big play early. We've got 8 minutes still to play first quarter. Scoreless tie. Brother Rice and East Lansing, but Rice knocking on the door. Harvey pinned and can't get away and on down. East Lansing will take over.
Oh, some great movement out there. Tom Sudduth from a defensive end position. One of the defenders to get out there and get in the face of the ball carrier. Here you see the quick pitch to Marcus Harvey. Harvey trying to get outside, not able to get around out there and turn that corner as Scott Duncan and Tom Sudduth bring him down, and the Trojans will take over possession.
Loss was 3 yards, and so East Lansing will start on their own 13-yard line. Tim Koffel, number 51, the center, leads them up. Up the middle, first back, couple of yards out near the 15-yard line with it goes Tom Sudduth. As East Lansing so far has not used the main weapon, Randy Kinder. John McGuire from his nose spot made the tackle for Brother Rice. 2nd down, we'll call it 8. This kind of an event, a lot of fun, not just for the football players, but everybody associated with a high school program. Cheerleaders and band members and fans. Kinder's first carry is good for a couple of yards, out to about the 17, where it'll be 3rd and 5. Randy Kinder, 216 carries, 1,872 yards, and 27 touchdowns this year.
We have 2 ball carriers in this game, Mark, with some carry numbers here. 218 for Marcus Harvey coming into this ball game. That's a lot of carrying the mail.
3rd down, 5, East Lansing. Movement, and Rice may have given them the 1st down. If it is against Rice, this will be very close. Looks like they're short by half a yard. 3rd down, less than 1, facing East Lansing.
Once again, that's got to change the play call, I'm sure, for Coach Jeff Smith. Once again, he favors the run about 80 to 85% of the time in his offensive scheme.
Diveback has the 1st down. Gave it to Kinder. Carried across the 25 to about the 26, where it's 1st and 10 for East Lansing. Their initial 1st down of this ball game. Interesting reading an article this week about Jeff Smith and his coaching philosophy. Said he likes to involve everybody on his 55-man roster, and says if football is not a good experience for the 50th kid, then it's not worthwhile at all. 1st and 10, little inside counter. Kinder almost breaks it. Dragged down after a gain of 15 yards by Brian Kalczynski.
Well, a little misdirection, not a big reverse by any means, but this time it's Randy Kinder who runs a little inside counter, has a nice hole at the line of scrimmage, is into the defensive backfield with that quickness of his. Boy, one more step and he might have been gone, or Brian Kalczynski stopped him from that breakaway mark. We might have seen some of that 4.3 speed for about 60 yards.
1st and 10. This time Ken Tyson. Pretty good running back in his own right. Has better than 700 yards this year. Spins forward for about 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9. To finish up the thought on Jeff Smith, Bill, says if football's not a good experience for the 50th kid, it's not worthwhile. So he has special scrimmages with other schools for his kids who are 3rd and 4th teamers. He has a scout team player of the week, a coach who's assigned to do nothing but handle the scout team. They have their own T-shirts and the like, so no prima donnas on East Lansing's football team.
Well, we'll see Mark DeMaria make a great defensive play here. There's Kinder with the ball, and Mark DeMaria puts the shoulder right on the hip pads, just exactly the way you teach a young man to bring down a good ball carrier. You got to make big contact. An arm isn't going to do it. And DeMaria that time right where he belonged defensively, and the good tackle technique to go along with it.
Wrapped him up after a gain of 1 or 2. 3rd and long. East Lansing passes. It's complete to Tyler Ford. Down the sideline and marked at the 22-yard line. No flags. The completion. Nathaniel Ide to Tyler Ford.
Well, a good bit of faking by Nathaniel Ide as he looks one way, really brings the defense over to the right side of the field, and then turns quickly and sees his receiver, Tyler Ford, wide open over on the left. Hits him with a good pass. Tyler Ford then able to pick up quite a bit of yardage after the reception, and the Trojans are down in great field position now at about the 22.
1st and 10 East Lansing. Inside that counter again. Kinder is inside the 10 and down to the 7.
Jason Snooks on the tackle that time. Here's Kinder, number 25, right through the middle on that inside counter. There you see Snooks, and there you see Brian Kalczynski once again. Just able to get the ball carrier by the ankles and trip him up, or he'd have been gone. It'd have been 6 for the Trojans.
We have a player down on the field for East Lansing at about the 10-yard line. And will hold us up for just a moment. Bill gives us a second to talk about the Silverdome. We've watched the progress of the state finals over the years, and what a perfect location this is for the Michigan High School Athletic Association football finals. The finals began back in 1975 first year here at the Silverdome, 1976. And this is just an absolutely wonderful place to play the finals. And folks having fun, as you can see right there.
Well, we've got some of those crazies in the stands on both sides. We've seen some painted faces. You just have everything. You're right, Mark. It's really not just a football game. It's a happening as the fans are here, and of course cheerleaders and great fans on the part of both teams. And just a lot of pageantry and a great thrill to be able to play in a facility like this.
Well, Bill, and I know as a longtime coach, you appreciate the fact that what you have here at the Silverdome is a game that can't be influenced by weather. What you hate to see are two great football teams get together and have the weather be the dominant factor.
Well, we've said that a number of times, and you're right. You know you're going to have great field conditions here, and that all of these fine athletes that make it this far in a state final tournament will be able to show their stuff, do their thing. We've got an indoor facility, obviously, that just always ensures great footing and great playing conditions. And, of course, a comfortable setting for the fans as well, so we have a great turnout. And it's just an all-around great time, Mark. For people that love high school football, this is just really a great place to come.
Well, what a terrific thrill, not just for coaches and players, but fans and even you and I to come here each year and see the championships played at the Pontiac Silverdome. Really has been a nice match, the Silverdome and the Michigan High School Athletic Association. The East Lansing player is now up, and it would appear to be Matt Summers, the 6'3" junior end. And they've been working on that left knee, and I am guessing that while he has strained or stretched something in there, it's not too bad, and it looks like Summers is going to get up and go off basically under his own power. He's putting a little weight on that left knee, and he's going to be all right.
Well, Summers is 6'3". He's 180 pounds. It'll be a loss if he's not able to come back, Mark, as he's one of those key men up front, not only when the Trojans do throw the ball, but also one of those blocking type tight ends. And with the running game favored as much as it is by East Lansing, he could be missed in there.
Well, he's walking pretty well as he leaves, and we'll hope to see Summers back in this ball game. First and goal, East Lansing. Football at about the 9-yard line of Brother Rice. Inside the 5 goes Tom Sudduth. They'll mark him at about the 3, second and goal. Nothing fancy going on.
Once again, I think down at the bottom making the tackle will be Jason Snooks. This guy's amazing down there. There you see him coming in from the side. He's only 5'7", Mark, 145 pounds, but he is a snapper in there. He comes to play.
Second and goal. East Lansing trying to draw first blood. Flags fly as it looks like the Trojans got things started a little too soon.
The Trojans run things very quickly, Mark. Once they get out of their huddle and get up to the line of scrimmage, they don't take any time at all snapping the ball as quarterback Nathaniel Ide gets up underneath there. And, boy, things happen in a hurry. That time, the offense just not set before the ball was snapped, and that's going to mark the Trojans back 5 yards. Brings up second and about 8 now.
You saw Ide over by the sideline getting instructions from head coach Jeff Smith as they go second and goal from the 8. Kinder has it down near the 5 where it's third and goal. 2:45 still to play first quarter. Birmingham Brother Rice drove and threatened, managed to carry it all the way down near the 10-yard line of East Lansing before being stopped on downs. And East Lansing has mounted a very impressive drive from that point. They have it now third and goal down at the Rice 5. Scoreless tie.
Well, this is where the big guys down in the middle defensively need to go to work. Mark Matson, John McGuire, Mark DeMaria. A little pressure on them right now.
Little counter play wide open. The touchdown will go to Mark Langkos, number 50, on some kind of a little guard or tackle reverse. I hope we have a replay so we can figure out exactly what happened.
Well, that took a long time to develop, Mark. You're right. There were a lot of fakes up inside. Here it comes. And you're right. It's a pulling guard, Mark Langkos, He pulls out of the line, goes to his offensive right side, circles around, takes the ball from quarterback Nathaniel Ide, and takes it into the end zone for the first 6 points of this ball game. East Lansing on top.
Moore's extra point is up and good. You mentioned, Bill, in the pregame that Al Fracassa likes to do cute little things at Brother Rice. It's Jeff Smith who pulls the little razzle-dazzle out of the playbook. Mark Langkos, a 5-yard pulling, what are you going to call that play?
Pulling guard reverse. Yes, I have never seen that one before, but it was Mark Langkos who lined up as an offensive guard, pulled to the right, but then circles around and brings it back to the left side. Completely fooled the Brother Rice defense. Fooled me, fooled everybody here for a while. Great play. Here we'll see it once again. And there you see now as we pick up the play as the handoff goes. We fool the cameraman a little bit as he finally picks up Langkos as he brings it into the end zone. Great play.
Ross Dingwall is up and working with us in the booth. You ever seen that one, Ross? You don't know what that's called then either, huh? Pulling guard reverse. He goes with the same thing. All right, East Lansing strikes first. The Trojans 7. Birmingham Brother Rice nothing. 2:10 still to play in the first quarter from the Silverdome. Class A state championship game. Mark Crawford and Bill Brandell, glad you're with us. Things held up here for just a minute. I'm not sure why.
Well, Mark, we expected a wide-open game in this particular contest. These two teams just really match up well as far as providing an interesting contrast between teams, and both coaches will play wide-open football. Been around for a long time, and we'll see some more of that tricky stuff before this one's over.
You had a look there at Jeff Smith on the East Lansing sideline. 21 years with the Trojan football program. His East Lansing team will boot it away, leading 7-0. And for some reason,
a little false start
pulling up
here
was Mike Core. Didn't like the way the football was setting on the line or something. See that a lot of times when the wind blows the football off the tee, but not the case here. Nice strong leg. Willis Marshall fields it at the 10. Tries to get cross country. Flags fly as Marshall is in the clear. Will carry out near midfield, but likely an illegal block of some kind back inside the 20.
Well, we've got a whole wash line of yellow flags down there. Looks like it's going to be some type of an illegal block called as we see the Warriors marching back. But it is 2 kickoffs, Mark, now that the Warriors have received, and they have done an excellent job of running them back. Very easy to see the illegal block right there, right at the beginning of this particular run back. Boy, that's really expensive as the penalty mark will be marked off from the spot of the infraction, which is half the distance to the goal. The Warriors will start back on their own 8-yard line.
Yeah, in effect, that is a 40-yard penalty right there. Instead of starting out near midfield, Rice will start, as you see there, in the shadow of the goal posts, back at their own 8-yard line. 1st and 10, Warriors of Brother Rice. They trail 7-0. Marcus Harvey, like a pinball, bounces off the first tackler, but finds nothing but blue jerseys in front of him. Loss of a couple, and it'll be 2nd down and still about 12.
Well, great defense once again by the Trojans as the initial point of attack here is stopped up real well. Can't quite catch who that was, but then as Marcus Harvey bounces back the other direction, a lot of blue jerseys waiting for him. He's dropped for a loss.
Matt Diaz made the first hit, stopped up the play, and allowed the pursuit to catch up to Marcus Harvey. Boy, trouble in the backfield again as East Lansing is getting to the football about as quickly as the Rice running backs are.
Right there on the tackle, Mark Langkos, the guy that got the touchdown just a few minutes ago. Now he shows us a little of his defense is right there. He's number 50, And he stops things up with a blocker in front of him and then is able to trip up the ball carrier as well.
Jason Lockwood, number 67, in on the stop as well. Rice is going backwards. They're at their 4-yard line now, looking at 3rd down and about 15. They have been very effective throwing the ball all season, and it's starting to look like they're going to have to throw the ball in this one. East Lansing gives them 5 free ones. One of the down linemen jumped into the neutral zone.
Well, that East Lansing defense is so eager. I'm not surprised that we see some of that, as they have had some success defensively. And, of course, that pumps up the defense even more. And that adrenaline gets to flowing. And they get down in that set position. And this time, quarterback Steve Merchant is able to draw them offside, picks up an easy 5 yards, brings up a 3rd and about 10.
Pitch right side, and Marcus Harvey does all he can to get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe fight forward for half a yard as the East Lansing defense playing stingy. And the seconds tick off the clock, and we have played 1 quarter. Here at the Pontiac Silverdome, 7-0 is our score. East Lansing leads as we will switch ends, and Brother Rice will punt from their own end zone.
Well, it's been a very interesting first quarter, Mark, as we've seen a lot of the running game so far in this one. Not a lot of passing yet, but we expect to see Brother Rice get that loosened up. But they have been in here in their own end of the field in this particular possession, kind of forced to run the ball, and so that kind of limits your play selection. They're going to be forced to punt the ball. We should see East Lansing with their first possession now of the second quarter. Great field position after this kick.
Yeah, I would think so. Rice punter, Matthew Wolf, number 17 there, averages only 27 yards a punt. And if he gets one off of average length, that would give East Lansing the football inside the Rice 40. So if he's ever going to catch hold of one, this might be the time to do it. Only score in this football game belongs to East Lansing offensive guard Mark Langkos on a little 5-yard pulling guard reverse. The extra point was notched by Mike Core, and that's where we stand. 7-0 East Lansing.
Well, Ken Tyson and Chio Walker will be the punt receivers. And they are standing at about their own 45-yard line, so they would rather be approaching the ball going forward than backing up. As you said, punter Matt Wolf only averaging about 27 yards a kick.
He'll tell you how effective the East Lansing defense has been. Ross Dingwall, who's handling stats for us, tells us that Marcus Harvey's carries, he's had 6 of them right now, 5 of them for negative yards. The only positive was that last 1-yard carry. And I'm not sure he had 1 yard on that one. Have to give him the 1 yard, I suppose, but they have really done a job so far defensively as East Lansing. Wolf will punt from the end zone. High kick. Good kick of about 35 yards. Tyson fields it, carries it down inside the 35 and down to the 34. And as anticipated, East Lansing will start with great field position. 1st and 10 at the 34 of Rice. We are just underway in the second quarter. There's some of the East Lansing faithful who have traveled here to the Silverdome. Second time East Lansing has made it to the state championship game. Back in 1983, they met these same Brother Rice Warriors and lost 15-12. Right end, Randy Kinder is tripped in the backfield. Looked to me like John McGuire, number 33, who just managed to get hold of that foot and stop him on the dive right here.
Well, the Trojans are showing some different kinds of offensive formations, Mark, lining their backs up in different positions. It's the same personnel, they're just coming from different spots. Defensively, that causes some problems for you, especially if you're trying to key on one particular back, trying to stop a particular series of offensive plays.
2nd down 12. Hyde will throw over the middle and incomplete. Very well covered.
Brian Kalczynski right where he belongs back there defensively. Actually, 2 defenders downfield.
And it'll be 3rd down 12. In the first quarter, the Trojans 3 of 3 on 3rd down. Can't get much better than that.
Not much better than that. Great execution.
Nathaniel Ide, the quarterback there, number 10, is the younger brother of Matt Ide, who Michigan State University fans will remember, signed at MSU and transferred to Iowa last year after it looked like there were just way too many quarterbacks in Spartan land.
Show me those signs. Show me those signs.
And you see we have another encroachment call. This one goes against Rice. And instead of 3rd and 12, 3rd and about 7.
Well, that came down inside as the down lineman for Brother Rice trying to get out of their defensive stance at the snap of the ball. That time just a little bit early.
Ide to throw is hit, incomplete, say the officials. The arm had started forward. The big stick came from Brian Hartwell, I think number 49, defensively for Rice. And it'll be 4th down.
Well, good defensive penetration as you see number 49 there just come up the back of Nathaniel Ide, Brian Hartwell, and just as Ide's delivering the ball, so it was not a fumble as the arm had started forward, but a good bit of defense by the Warriors of Brother Rice, putting East Lansing in a 4th down and about 7 position.
East Lansing will go on 4th down 7 from the 30. Boy, they'll go nowhere is where they'll go. Same player, Brian Hartwell again. Came cross field, got his hands on Ide, and that play was history.
Mike Walker also there to help out after Brian Hartwell had made some contact. There you see Hartwell reaching over a blocker, getting a hold of Ide, and then coming in to clean up Mike Walker as they drop the quarterback for a big loss, and they're able to give the ball to their offense. Pretty good field position here, 33-yard line.
So Fracassa and his Brother Rice Warriors start 1st and 10. Merchant rolls to throw, has a man, complete across midfield, and down the sideline goes Jason Snooks. Down to the 31-yard line. Gain on the order of 35 yards. Merchant to Snooks.
Oh, nice rollout pass by Merchant as he finds Snooks down the sideline. Ken Tyson finally able to catch up right on the sidelines and knock Snooks out of bounds. Nice bit of running, nice pass play for the Warriors.
1st and 10, Brother Rice, as we have a timeout on the field now. Good thing for the Brother Rice Warriors that Jason Snooks talked his way onto the offense, huh?
Well, he has really come alive. As you were relating that story to me, Mark, it's not very often that you will see a team of this caliber make a change as far as personnel goes in the offensive backfield. I mean, that's kind of late to develop. Not that that young man wasn't working out part of the time as a back, but usually by the time you get into the playoffs, you've pretty well established what your lineup is going to be. And to make a change like that, that young man had to really show something, and obviously he has, as he's been a very effective weapon in this ball game. It's kind of picking up where he left off in these previous playoffs games.
Well, Bill, anybody who doesn't think there's room in high school or college football for a little guy just has to look at Jason Snooks. 5'7", 145, a junior. Odds are pretty good. He doesn't weigh 145 pounds.
Well, he is not very big, but remember, he is also playing both ways out here. Plays defensively for the Warriors also. Of course, that's where he started, but he's got to be a mighty tough young man. I give him a lot of credit.
1st and 10, Rice. On the move, trailing East Lansing 7-0. Dive back is Sean Johnson. And he might have stepped his way forward for a yard before Jason Lockwood, the 170-pound senior guard for East Lansing, makes the stop.
Jason Lockwood, one of the captains for East Lansing and one of their leaders. He's been one of the inspirations defensively. Does it with his actions and not with a lot of talk, but an excellent defensive player.
Trojans play a defense we don't see much anymore, a 60. Second down 9. Out in the flats. Is it complete or incomplete? Must be complete. I saw him signal the clock should continue to move.
I saw a defender go right in front of the ball there, Mark, and
complete, and his knee went down.
He was down on one knee when he caught it. There's a great
Matthew Allen caught the football, went down on one knee.
Great bit of camera work there. Helped us out.
Third down 8 for Rice. Ball almost picked off. Merchant wants to throw. Intended for the same guy, Matt Allen, and complete. Inside the 20 and down at the 18, first down.
Well, Dan Duncan, the defender there, but boy, that pass right on the money. As we see Steve Merchant deliver the ball here, it's right on the sidelines. And you can see the receiver able to get his foot down, Matt Allen. As we mentioned earlier, he had 35 catches coming into this one, has had a couple now. He adds to his totals.
Very well run pattern as he got the first down yardage. So many times you see those wide receivers come up short of the first down.
Boy, the running game, Mark, just going nowhere for the Warriors. Mark Lankos, once again, defensively penetrating, able to get into the offensive backfield and make contact with the ball carrier before he can even get started or get back to the line of scrimmage. Trojans have just stuffed that running game of the Warriors.
Second down 12. Yeah, Rice's numbers have come through the air. High formation, they'll throw. Or what a throw, I should say, but East Lansing's Tom Sudduth is there from his end spot. The sack all the way back to the 30-yard line.
Well, Tom Sudduth just untouched as he comes from his defensive end position. And boy, he gets into the backfield in a hurry, makes sure with a double arm tackle on Steve Merchant, spins him around, throws him to the ground, and then is joined by a couple of his Trojan teammates. And that kind of adds a little frosting on the cake, saying howdy to Mr. Steve Merchant.
Third down 20 facing Rice. Gunned over the middle. Complete to Allen down at about the 20-yard line. Good for about 8 yards. It'll be fourth down and 12. Gotta like the hands of Matt Allen, number 20. Has caught, as you mentioned, Bill, almost 40 balls. And in high school, boy, those are big numbers.
And these are the hard ones to catch, Mark, when you have to run a pattern inside and then your quarterback delivers the ball up high. You have to turn your back to a defender, leap high in the air with your arms outstretched, and catch the ball when you know you're going to get smacked.
Rushwin's going to try a 37-yard field goal. Block! Oh, tripped up as he crosses midfield was Tom Sudduth. The block came right up the middle for East Lansing.
Well, I thought Tom Sudduth was off to the races with that one as the ball bounced. There's the block. A great block right up the middle. The ball bounces around here a little bit. There you see Sudduth pick up the ball, and he is gone. And they're just a diving, saving tackle. Not sure who it was, but what a great block. What a great work of defensive work once again by the Trojans.
Rufus Jackson, number 57, the Trojan who blocked the kick. That's Kinder on first down, has 4 or 5. Rufus Jackson also recovered the fumble earlier. So Jackson has a blocked kick and a fumble recovery already on defense for East Lansing. Second down, 6 East Lansing. Football at the 39 of Brother Rice. We have 6:20 still to play in the first half of this Class A state championship game. East Lansing 7, Brother Rice nothing. Nathaniel Ide pitches back to Kinder, and he has another couple, 2 or maybe 3. Mark Watson was there among others. Matson, I'm sorry, not Watson. Mark Matson and Hank DeMaria. Third down and about 4. Bill, did they tell you DeMaria or DeMaria?
DeMaria is what I believe I was given.
All right. DeMaria. Third down 4, East Lansing. Boy, very tight line splits. People on both sides are jumping into the neutral zone. Question here will be who stepped in first, and it's East Lansing this time.
Well, we've seen a couple of those. Once again, we describe Nathaniel Hyde's offensive count as very quick. Like as he comes up to the ball, he's got that offensive line going. If he hesitates at all, I think those people start to move. And we've seen that happen a couple of times to the Trojans.
It'll be third down and 9 facing East Lansing. Hyde will throw, guns it over the middle, tipped and incomplete. Intended receiver was Dan Duncan, and there were 4 white jerseys around Dan Duncan. It'll be 4th and 9, and East Lansing will be forced to punt.
Well, Nathaniel Hyde steps up into the pocket and delivers the ball, but he delivers it into a crowd here as there's a number of Warrior defenders in the area. The ball tipped, nobody able to get up and underneath it for the interception, but good defensive work by the Warriors. Brings up a punting situation now for East Lansing.
Hyde handling the punting chores. Tries to angle it out of bounds, but it heads into the end zone. 42 yards on the punt by Nathaniel Hyde. Bring it out to the 20 where Brother Rice will start 1st and 10. A little less than 5 minutes still to play, first half. 7-0 East Lansing. We said coming into the game, Bill, that East Lansing would basically run the football. They have done that. Brother Rice has tried to mix it up as we expected they would, but they've had no success running. Pretty good success throwing. And Steve Merchant, the senior quarterback, leads them up 1st and 10. Little razzle-dazzle. Merchant wants to throw, but he's nailed. Jason Lockwood from his guard spot wasn't biting on the run fake.
Well, Jason Lockwood comes out of that stance with excellent quickness. Not much blocking up there, and he'll make a diving effort to grab the leg of Steve Marchant. He's able to pick up one ankle and throw Marchant to the ground as there a little bit of skullduggery there on the part of Coach Al Fracassa. The little pitch back and a pass. We weren't able to see if anybody was open downfield, but some great defense as Lockwood makes the penetration.
There was another Trojan coming quickly. Flags fly, delay of game against Brother Rice. Bill Ross Dingwall's just added up Rice's offensive statistics for us. They have thrown for 81 yards. They have rushed for a -7.
Well, credit the defense of East Lansing. Boy, they have just stuffed that running game. Obviously, when you can't run, it makes it harder to pass.
2nd down, 22. Little reverse to Bob George, and nothing there. Scott Duncan, the linebacker, makes the stop for East Lansing. It's 3rd down and still better than 20.
Tom Sudduth once again defensively is able to contain this run, and there you see the pursuit coming. Look at the blue jerseys. Great bit of work again. Jason Lockwood in there on the tackle. We credited Scott Duncan, but it was Lockwood from one of those down guard positions again that was able to get on that route that took him to the outside with the ball carrier.
Really good pursuit angle that time. Little draw play on 3rd and a mile, and Marcus Harvey manages to make a couple of positive yards, 3 or 4, but East Lansing will gladly give him that. Matt Diaz.
And Tom Sudduth once again down there. Wow, busy defensive player. We call that name all day.
Sudduth and Diaz make the tackle. It'll be 4th down, and Rice will send Wolf back into the end zone, punting again. Kind of a low liner will bounce at the 45. Fielded by Duncan, and he's inside the 30. Runs out of bounds at the 29 with 2:49 still to play. So time for East Lansing. There you see the score, 7-0 East Lansing with about 2 minutes and 50 seconds still to play here first half, and great field position. They'll start the drive on the 29 of Brother Rice. Again, East Lansing has a great field goal kicker. Mike Core holds a school record with a 45-yarder.
I think he's got 5 field goals so far this year.
They may not need him. Randy Kinder sprints to the end zone, 29 yards for the TD. East Lansing up 13-0.
Well, once again, that little inside counterplay run to perfection by Randy Kinder. He's able to get through the line of scrimmage, a nice hole there. And once he builds up a head of speed, there you see him coming back. And he's into the defensive secondary before he's ever touched. Turns on the Jets, nobody gonna catch Randy Kinder. Another 6 on the board for the Trojans.
Sends through the extra point. Took them 5 seconds or so to tack 7 points on the board and stretch the lead out to 14-0.
Well, that running play has been effective all day for the Trojans as Randy Kinder comes from a set position on his offensive left side and simply after a fake to the first man coming up the middle takes the ball off tackle. Somewhere between the end and the tackle, there's some great line blocking going on up there for the Trojans. You've got to give some credit to Mike Daggs, Mark Lankos, Tim Poppold, Will Smith, Brian Subak. Boy, those guys have got to be doing some work up there, Mark, because that hole has just been open all afternoon.
There was the speed by Kinder there as he broke into the secondary. There was one defensive player who I don't think had a shot at him, but who you thought might be able to run with him 5 or 10 yards behind him, and Randy Kinder just plain pulled away from him.
Well, Mark, you've already told me that the speed on this young man for the 40 is about a 4.3, 4.4, something like that. But there you can see some quickness, nice little swivel hips, and he's just outlegging that last defender. You're right. Great quickness, got fairly good size. 6'1", 185 pounds, just a junior. Hey, people are going to have to look at him another year. How would you like to be facing that if you were one of these opponents that East Lansing's met this year and know you got to see him again next year?
Well, Nathaniel Ide, the quarterback, a junior as well. East Lansing will boot it away. They lead 14-0. Still lots of time in this ball game. 2:45 yet to play in the first half and a whole second half. Do not count Brother Rice out yet. Kick is dropped inside the 10. Kicked back to the 5. And just what Rice didn't need, bad field position. Willis Marshall brought down at about the 11. And Rice is going to start 1st and 10 deep in their own territory.
Well, Willis Marshall having a little problem fielding the ball as he lets it go through his arms, and then right here kicks it, has to retreat in order to pick it up. He's back at about the 3-yard line, and he finally gains control. Gets upfield a little bit, but he's hemmed in by those blue jerseys over there right on the sidelines. And as you said, Mark, the Warriors start in just terrible field position once again, about their own 11.
Split backs behind Steve Merchant, who will throw. Down the sideline, but well out of bounds. The pass intended for Matt Allen. Maybe, I'm not sure if Merchant really intended to complete that.
Allen was well covered by Dan Duncan downfield defensively, and you're right. Merchant may have elected just simply to save that one, make sure it was not intercepted. threw it over there somewhere in the area of Al Fracassa. Maybe he wanted to give his coach a reception in this one here.
Well, his offensive line at least gave him some time that time. It'll be 2nd down 10. Wants to throw again, this time being chased around, drilled, incomplete, they say. His arm had started forward. Pressure was coming from Matt Hadley, number 86.
Boy, and Jason Lockwood picked up the ball, and he had an escort of his teammates to go into the end zone once again. Watch here as you'll see the pass is ruled incomplete, and a good call by the officials as the arm had started forward. And there you see Lockwood. He thought, uh-oh, I got a chance to put some 6 points on here myself.
3rd down 10. Steve Merchant, the Brother Rice quarterback, is going to be on a first-name basis with that East Lansing defensive line before this game's over. They'll run, and forward for about 3 goes Marcus Harvey. They'll have to punt again. Matt Diaz makes the stop from his linebacker spot for East Lansing. And there's still plenty of time for East Lansing to try and put more points on the board.
Well, they'll be in especially good field position once again, Mark, as we see the deep backs going back. They're going to line up at about the 50. They'll have the ball offensively with about 1:30 left in this one. Good field position coming up.
Will Hop and Tyson lost control. Regains it, tries to turn the corner, and is tripped up from behind. Good play by Colin Callahan for Brother Rice. And East Lansing will start back at about their own 41. And slow to get up is Sean Johnson from Brother Rice. Twisted the ankle a little bit.
Well, Matt Wolf with a good punt. We mentioned earlier that he was averaging only about 27, 29 yards on his punt so far this year, but he got the good bounce off this artificial turf, Mark, and East Lansing starts not quite as good as we might have expected here.
Left side, Randy Kinder is forward for about 3. As the clock marches down. Less than a minute to play. And East Lansing, just as I was about to say, East Lansing is perhaps content. The Trojans call timeout with 58 seconds left. I guess they might as well try and move it downfield when they have a young man named Mike Core who's kicked a 45-yard field goal. They only need to pick up about 30 yards to be in his range.
Well, they used their second timeout. They have 1 remaining now in this first half of play. And you're right, Mark. They've indicated already in this one offensively that they can strike very quickly. You've got a back like Randy Kinder that can pick him up and lay him down as quickly as he can. And, of course, we've also seen Nathaniel Ide be pretty proficient with the passing game so far. He's got his favorite receiver out there, Tyler Ford. And I'd like to see the Trojans really get aggressive here with the ball. They don't think that 58 seconds is not enough time to get some points on the board. I'm not sure they're going to be content with the field goal, but I think that you're right. They don't need to pick up a whole lot of yards to get in range.
Kinder has run for 75 yards here in the first half, so his season's total now at about 1,950. Boom. Boy, that's a familiar name. Brian Hartwell has been coming around end and drilling Nathaniel Ide.
Well, just as the defense for the Trojans has been in the face of the Warrior quarterback, Brian Hartwell has to be on a first-name basis with Nathaniel Ide, as he has been in the backfield just about as much as the Trojan backs.
3rd down 12. Clock is moving. 25 seconds left in this first half. Ide gives off to Kinder. Broke 1 tackle, managed to make 2 or 3 yards. It'll be 4th down. And now, I think it's the turn of Rice to call timeout. Stopping it with 13 seconds left. About the only reason to do that, Bill, is if you think you might be able to get a block.
Well, 13 seconds, not much time now. You're right. I'm sure that the Warriors would love to have an opportunity at blocking this, getting themselves into position to put some points on the board, but certainly don't have a lot of time to run a lot of
Step to
offense.
your right side.
There you see Matt Summers, the young man that was hurt early, got his knee wrapped up there, some type of a knee injury, obviously, and we hope that that's not too serious, but it does not look as though Matt Summers will be back in this ballgame.
Well, Matt was smiling down there, enjoying the fact that his teammates are out front 14-0.
There you see the East Lansing coach just a minute ago. I had the opportunity to coach against Jeff Smith when I was coaching at Battle Creek Lakeview Mark. Fine gentleman, runs a great program, always plays tough football.
Hyde stands in punt formation. Here comes Rice. Gets it away. High kick. Good bounce for East Lansing. And if they leave it, the half will end as the football rolls. And that's the situation. We have come to halftime here at the Pontiac Silverdome. East Lansing out front of Birmingham Brother Rice, 14-0. You'll enjoy the bands here at the halftime, and we'll be back with the third quarter.
Not look as though Matt Summers will be back in this ballgame.
Well, Matt was smiling down there, enjoying the fact that his teammates are out front 14-0.
There you see the East Lansing coach just a minute ago. I had the opportunity to coach against Jeff Smith when I was coaching at Battle Creek Lakeview Mark. Fine gentleman, runs a great program, always plays tough football.
Hyde stands in punt formation. Here comes Rice. Gets it away. High kick. Good bounce for East Lansing. And if they leave it, the half will end as the football rolls. And that's the situation. We have come to halftime here at the Pontiac Silverdome. East Lansing out front of Birmingham Brother Rice, 14-0. You'll enjoy the bands here at the halftime, and we'll be back with the third quarter.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Today, the East Lansing High School Trojan Marching Band would like to take you on a trip to Harlem's Cotton Club in the 1930s for an afternoon of jazz. The band today is that of the famous jazz pianist Edward Kennedy Ellington. better known to all as Duke Ellington. The band is just about ready to begin, so sit back, relax, and listen as we feature Brandon Durman trumpet and Nick Javier trombone on Duke Ellington's Caravan. Here comes the band's singer. It's Billie Holiday, and she's going to do one of her own original compositions, featuring Brandon Durman and Matt Collar trumpets and Ollie Thomas trombone. Here is God Bless the Child.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and...
Duke's band is almost ready to take a break. Before they do, though, they're going to play two of Duke's most famous tunes. Featuring Liz Merchant on trombone and Matt Collar on trumpet, here is Sophisticated Ladies and It Don't Mean a Thing If It Ain't Got That Swing. Drum majors for the Trojan Band are Mr. Mark Reeves and Mr. Jay Schwilly. Color guard captain is Peter Peterson. Color guard instructor is Tracy Fritz. Director of the Trojan Band is Jane Church, and I'm John McDaniel, the voice of the Trojan Band. Ladies and gentlemen, the East Lansing High School Trojan Marching Band.
Crawford, Bill Brandell, back with you from the Pontiac Silverdome Class A State Championship game. 14-0 is our score. East Lansing leads Birmingham Brother Rice as we get set to go second half. You will recall East Lansing won the coin toss that started this football game. They deferred their choice to the second half, and so leading 14-0, the Trojans will get the football. Bill, we've looked real quickly at the halftime stats. Anything that jumped out at you?
Well, obviously the big stat is the minus 7 yards net rushing for the Warriors. Boy, credit the defense of the East Lansing Trojans for that bit of news, but that really is the key as far as I'm concerned so far. As we've said, Brother Rice likes to run a diversified offense, but what they need to do to be successful is to have both parts of it. And so far, they have not been able to rush the ball at all, and that's going to slow down their passing attack.
Rice will boot it away, fielded back at about the 10-yard line by Kinder, and he is forward across the 30 to the 31 or 32, where East Lansing will start 1st and 10. Nathaniel Ide is the quarterback for East Lansing, 5'11", 160 pounds, and a junior. Tyson, Kinder, Sudduth, and occasionally Duncan will spend time in the backfield with Ide. East Lansing scored a touchdown in the first quarter, a touchdown in the second, and they lead 14-0 as we start second half. Ide with the I formation goes to Randy Kinder, who is tripped at the line of scrimmage by Mark Matson. And it'll be second down and still about 10. Kinder, 12 carries, 83 yards in the first half, as he approaches 2,000 yards on the season. Back to Jeff Smith again, Bill, when I was telling you that he tries to make it an enjoyable experience for all 50 or 55 kids on the team. He was mentioning he can't stand having prima donnas, and so if anything, he makes life rougher for the kids who are stars.
I think
Forward for 3 or 4.
He helps to explain that by saying, I was never a star, and by golly, nobody's going to be treated like one around me either. And I like that philosophy. I like even more what you mentioned, Mark, about making the game fun and making it fun for that 50th player, the guy that's over here on the sideline in most of the big game situations, but is out there in practice every day and giving just as much of himself, both physically and commitment-wise, as the players that are on the field in this championship game. That's really important.
3rd down, 7. And Kinder is wrestled down as he approaches the line of scrimmage. Mark Matson again, number 55, makes the tackle. It's 4th and punt for East Lansing.
Good defense, Mark Matson from a defensive tackle. There you see the great pursuit angle that he takes after his initial penetration, and he's able to get over there and grab up Randy Kinder around his waist, locking his arms against his body and throwing him down.
Ide in punt formation, stands back at his own 22. They bounce the snap to him. Block was on, and a couple of Rice players fly past his foot. Good roll if you're an East Lansing fan, as the football is down back at about the 28-yard line. You know, Jeff Smith says he was no star, but both Jeff Smith and Al Fracassa on the other side played Big Ten football. Jeff Smith played defensively, defensive back, I think he was, for the University of Michigan. Al Fracassa was part of the 1952 national championship team at Michigan State.
Well, I think Jeff Smith played for Bump Elliott back in those days, and he was a good player himself. Doesn't take a lot of credit, but he was an excellent player himself.
Rice on 1st down. Harvey bounces outside, gets a yard or 2. But the East Lansing defense is there to wrap him up again. Tom Sudduth was there. You think Dan Duncan as well.
Well, great pursuit once again as the Trojan defense right where they belong as Marcus Harvey dips outside. Dan Duncan down there at the bottom of the pile along with Tom Sudduth.
Guy who really made the play was Matt Diaz, the linebacker, who filled the first gap where Marcus Harvey was going and forced him outside. 2nd down, 8. Merchant will throw, guns it over the middle and complete. Gain of about 5 yards out to near the 35-yard line. Mike Pollock. The sophomore makes the catch.
And defensively, once again, Matt Diaz would be there. And initially, Scott Duncan from a linebacker position.
We didn't see it, but there was a flag as well. And I believe I heard Eric Forseth, our announcer, say illegal procedure against Rice. Declined by East Lansing. They'll allow the gain out to the 35-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down 4. There's some confidence in your defense.
Well, I would say as it brings up a 3rd and about 4 here, and the Trojans say, no, we're going to turn the down box over rather than give you an extra chance at making some yards.
We don't think you can make 3 yards. Rice goes 3rd and short. Merchant to throw. Pressure's coming. And it's incomplete. Wasn't going anywhere anyway. Bob George was out there, the intended receiver, but again, Sudduth and Diaz were there. Matt Hadley putting pressure on.
Well, Matt Hadley comes from his tackle position, gets those big arms up. He's 6'3", and quarterback Steve Merchant has to throw up over those outstretched arms and is not able to connect with his receiver, and the Warriors are forced to punt.
Matthew Wolf gets it away, fielded at about the 30-yard line by Chio Walker. Flags are down, and Walker returns it about 10 yards. We'll wait and see what the flag is. 8:15 still to play here, 3rd quarter. 14-0. East Lansing leads Birmingham Brother Rice in the Class A state championship game from the Silver Dome.
Well, it's going to be a penalty of some
It's an
sort.
illegal participation penalty. I'm not sure if maybe we had some extra players on the field.
That's going to give the Warriors a first down.
I'm going to bet that we had maybe 12 players out there for East Lansing. Mike Vandervelde, the referee, tells you illegal participation. Make it 1st and 10 for Brother Rice. Mark the football just shy of the 50-yard line.
Boy, that's a big penalty, Mark, as it not only yardage-wise, but when that allows you to keep possession of the ball, and the Warriors now continue their offensive drive here from about the 50-yard line, that's a big play.
Merchant runs option and has to eat the football. Marcus Harvey might have been open out there if Merchant could have gotten it to him, but 2 East Lansing players knifed in, sandwiched him, and took him down.
Well, Bill Cheeseman defensively a good bit of work on the option play that time as quarterback Steve Merchant came down the line of scrimmage. Cheeseman steps across, faces inside, and is able to attack the quarterback quickly, put an end to that option play in a hurry.
Gain of maybe a foot. It'll be 2nd down and still 10. Steve Merchant threw for better than 1,200 yards this year. That's the pitch to Marcus Harvey, and Marcus Harvey did most of that on his own. It's about 5 yards down into East Lansing territory. Mark it at the 45. Rufus Jackson, who's blocked a punt and recovered a fumble, makes the tackle here, number 57.
Well, I really like the pursuit of the East Lansing Trojan defense. As you can just see the blue jerseys flow with the direction of the play. They get off their blocks in a hurry, are able to get to the point of attack in a hurry, and are there to help out on every tackle.
Rice will try the pitch the other way. Harvey tries to beat the defense and turn the corner, and he's going to be marked down a couple of yards short of the 1st down.
Once again, a good example of the pursuit by East Lansing, as it's finally Randy Kinder that is able to bring the ball carrier down. But there's just no place to turn upfield, as Marcus Harvey is just forced to run sideways, Mark. Just can't find a lane to turn up and get some positive yards.
Well, you saw Kinder's speed again there as Marcus Harvey was turning the corner on the other East Lansing players. And there's another free 1st down. East Lansing encroaches into the neutral zone, and unless they were drawn off, let's see. Nope, it's another 1st down via penalty for Rice.
Well, these things can come up and grab you. There you see Coach Jeff Smith as he's not very happy with his young men, as they have made a couple of mental errors now to begin this second half, and they've allowed the Warriors to keep possession of the ball offensively, and they're getting closer and closer now to scoring territory.
Merchant to throw. Guns it incomplete over the middle. Intended receiver was Matt Allen. Maybe a football he should have just held on to and run.
Boy, Steve Merchant, though, I have to admire. Mark has got a gun for an arm, as he was on the dead run that time and delivered the ball very crisply on a clothesline downfield. As you said, maybe not a good judgment as far as whether to throw the ball or not, but sure has a nice delivery, a nice touch on the ball.
Merchant, a 50% passer this year, just above, has completed 108 passes coming in today.
Oh,
sack.
Oh, what a great play defensively. Mark Lankos, coming from a defensive tackle position, is able to get off of a blocker, make a diving effort to grab Steve Merchant by the ankle. Watch. There's off the block, and there's the diving tackle, and just enough to get the ankles. Down goes Merchant. Another sack of the quarterback by the Trojans.
It'll be 3rd down and 20 facing Brother Rice. Pressure's coming. Pass is complete for about 10 or 12 yards to Bob George. And it'll be 4th down and still about 8.
Boy, Steve Merchant, I think, threw that one from his back, didn't he? Once again, great defensive pressure, but a nice pass and right on the money downfield as Bob George is able to turn and see that ball coming. That ball was thrown actually before Bob George turned around. As he turned, the ball was right in his face. He reached up, made the grab. Nice bit of gain there, positive yardage. What's going to bring up another key 4th down for the Warriors.
The 3rd time that Brother Rice has gone to punt formation on this drive. First 2 times they were able to pick up first downs via penalty. It's a fake. And it's a first down. Well, there's the skullduggery you mentioned we'd see. Bob George, the up man, takes the snap, carries for about 15 yards, and has the first down to the 24 of East Lansing.
There you see the short snap. Bob George just picks up the mail, heads for his offensive right side, and is able to beat the outside contained man. Picks up the 9 yards necessary for the first down. Boy, the Warriors using everything they can find here to keep this drive alive, Mark. Penalties by the Trojans. A bit of skullduggery there. Trick play, fake punt.
First down. Merchant pretty much had to throw that away to Marcus Harvey as one of the linemen, or a blitzing linebacker, Bill Cheeseman, was coming for East Lansing. And that was in the direction of Marcus Harvey, but he didn't have any time to turn on his route to make a reception. Good smart play, though, by Merchant to get rid of the football.
Well, he saw the defensive man coming, and you're right, didn't want to pull the trigger quite that early, but just had no choice, or we would have had another sack of the quarterback here. Merchant, pretty cool character out there.
Double tight end formation on 2nd and 10. Marcus Harvey will run and carries for about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down 6. Tom Sudduth, the 5'11", 170-pound senior defensive end for East Lansing, makes the stop. Clock shows 3:35 still to play here, 3rd quarter from the Silverdome. 14-0 East Lansing leads, but Rice on the march. Big 3rd down play. Batted back. Lankos again, number 50.
Lankos is about 6 foot. He got all of that 6 foot up in the air that time. Was able to get those arms outstretched, knock the ball down as Steve Merchant finally has a little time, but just simply cannot get the ball there as Mark Lankos is up and in the way of those big posts of arms of his. Another good defensive effort. Brings up another key fourth down, Mark.
Fourth down, 7.
How many times can you do it?
Fourth time they've faced fourth down. Complete. First down at the 10. Matt Allen on the reception from Steve Merchant. 4 times Brother Rice has gone to fourth down on this drive. And they're still alive.
Well, Merchant once again rolling over to his offensive left side. Finally spots Matt Allen right in the middle of the field. Matt Allen in between a number of defenders, but he's got those great hands, able to bring that pass in, gives the Warriors a first down right at the 10-yard line.
They could pick up a first down. It would be at about the 6-inch line. Hit from behind is Harvey as Mark Langkos is in the backfield again.
Boy, once again, Mark Langkos, defensive penetration at its best as he's able to get to the ball carrier before the ball carrier even can get back to the original line of scrimmage. Good quickness.
Going to be a loss of perhaps half a yard. Boy, back to that fourth down completion. I really like the way Matt Allen plays the wide receivers. He had to go up high again for the football, bring it down to his body. He knew he'd get hit and hung on. Second down, Merchant. Oh, has a man wide open in the flats. Incomplete. Bob George was all by himself.
Oh my, one of the few times that a receiver has been wide open. This time it's Bob George turns around, has got anybody around him. All he has to do is bring the ball in, it bounces off his hands. Oh, he's got to be upset with himself. Nobody feels worse than that young man, as he had all the opportunity in the world and it just goes away.
Come on, Trojans, let's go!
Third down, 10, facing Birmingham Brother Rice. Merchant will throw. Oh, almost finds Bob George on the deflection. It's fourth down, and you have to believe Rice will be going on fourth down from the 10.
Well, Ken Tyson back there defensively, he had a shot at it. The ball bounces off a couple of people, I think, here. Over the outstretched arms there. Ken Tyson right off his shoulder pads. There the intended receiver, Bob George. He had a chance at it. It falls in the end zone. Nobody gets it.
And for the 5th time on this drive, Rice staring at fourth down.
Well, 5th time, Mark, in this particular drive, they have faced fourth down. Can they do it again?
Merchant wants to throw. The pressure. It's picked off. And out of bounds at the 10-yard line goes Matt Diaz following the interception. And Rice is turned away.
Well, once again, the Trojan defense right where they belong. And believe me, on this particular drive, they have faced a number of adverse situations as they have given first downs by way of the penalty. They give first downs by way of the fake punt. And now they're right where they belong on the fourth down, make the interception, and they take over the ball.
East Lansing will start first and 10 from their own 10. Leading 14-0 late third quarter. Flags everywhere. So we'll stop this one.
And once again, we have the East Lansing squad leaving a little bit early. That quick snap count, once again, I think delayed just a little bit by Nathaniel Ide. And when he does that, his offensive linemen are so eager that they're moving before the ball is snapped. I believe that's the 3rd time that's happened to him, Mark. But, boy, they have been effective other than that.
So it'll be first and 15 facing East Lansing. Still plenty of time for Birmingham Brother Rice. The Warriors down by 2 touchdowns with just a bit over 1/4 of football yet to play from the Silverdome. Kinder has a yard, perhaps, out to about the 6 where it'll be second down. If you're Birmingham Brother Rice, you call on your defense right now to get tough. Stop them right here and get yourself field position for another try.
Well, the Trojans in a 2nd and about 15 situation, and you're right, Mark, you would like to pin them right here. so that your offense would get the ball back in good field position and have another crack at that end zone that has been extremely hard to get into here so far in this one for the Warriors.
Hyde gives on that counter play again to Randy Kinder, who has a real head of steam up when they hand him the football. He carries for about 10 yards out to the 15. It's 3rd and 5.
Well, once again, here you see Kinder come from a wingback position this time. Comes all the way back, a much more of a counter move than he has, but the ball ends up in the same spot, and that's between the tackle and the end position on the opposite side of the line. The play starts the flow in one direction, and then Kinder comes back the other way. When he gets a little room, he leaves a string of would-be tacklers back behind him.
Big play, 3rd down 5, East Lansing. Dive back, Kinder bounces outside, has the first down.
Oh my, what a fine looking back. Randy Kinder, this time not only showing us quickness, but a lot of strength and a lot of ability to shake off some hard contact early right there. That's a good hit, Mark. He just bounces off of it, heads outside. Oh, I like the way he changes the position of the ball, gets the ball on the outside arm so that if more contact comes, he doesn't lose it. Ooh, what a good looking back for just a junior.
1st down 10 East Lansing. 6 of the 11 starters for East Lansing on offense are juniors, Bill.
Boy, how would you like to be in that Capital Conference and be looking at this again next year?
Kinder has 4 or 5 yards out near the 35, where it'll be 2nd down 5, and that might be the last play of our 3rd quarter. Clock shows 10 seconds left, and Nathaniel Hyde is just going to stand over here at the sidelines and talk to Jeff Smith, so he's not going to return to the field. They'll flip-flop and take the football to the other side here. 1 quarter still to play here from the Pontiac Silverdome. 14-0 is still our score. East Lansing leads Birmingham Brother Rice. Bill, I wanted to mention one of the unique programs of the Michigan High School Athletic Association here at the finals, the Good Sports Are Winners Award. The school exhibiting the best sportsmanship at the finals will receive a crystal trophy, a banner, and a $1,000 award from True Value. The Wajak, the winner last year, and that's one of the efforts by the MHSAA you and I can both get behind here, as it deals with not just the teams, but their fans as well.
Well, we've already mentioned how important it is that people realize this is not just 2 football teams. It's a whole school and a whole community situation, and most communities that have the good fortune to have a squad here will come out in big numbers, and we see bands out here, and we see booster groups, and just a great display of sportsmanship by all these schools. And what a great award that is, to honor the folks that show the most team spirit and show the greatest sportsmanship. That's just a great program. Another congratulations to our Michigan High School Athletic Association.
Little helmet cam work on the sideline there, Bill, as you saw some of that.
That's what things look like if you got one of those helmets on.
Been a while. Back in my day, there were no face masks,
right.
so we didn't have to look through that kind of stuff.
Woody Robertson is our director, and working with a good crew here at the Silverdome this year. And they are up now and on his feet. Matt Summers, who you remember went down with the knee early in this ball game, but a big smile on his face as he and his teammates lead this one 14-0, heading into quarter number 4.
There's some of that spirited crowd, this time on the East Lansing side. And of course, they've got the smiley faces.
2nd down 5 for East Lansing. Football at their own 35-yard line. Kinder again has a couple, 2 or 3, and you can see the game plan for East Lansing right now revolves around Mr. Kinder.
Kinder, I believe, had about 81 yards in that first half, so he's got to be right at the century mark. We'll have to see Ross Dingwall down here and see if we've got 100 yards for Mr. Kinder yet.
Looks like about 100 and maybe 110, somewhere near there, and he is very close to 2,000 yards now on his season. Flags fly.
Little meeting of our officials there as they sort things out.
And a free first down for East Lansing, as this time it's Brother Rice encroaching.
What goes around comes around.
So 1st and 10 East Lansing, as you see our 14-0 score. About 11 minutes left here in this ball game at the Pontiac Silverdome.
Well, and we're not far, Mark, from the clock becoming a big factor in this ball game. Plenty of time right now, but
power eye now as Kinder is forward for a couple of yards. John McGuire from his nose spot for the Warriors of Brother Rice. There to make the stop. It'll be 2nd down 8, but you're right. The clock will continue to move, and every first down is going to be worth 2 or 3 minutes.
Well, of course, the Trojans love to run the ball offensively, and they're in no hurry. They're going to take the full allotment of time as they run each of these plays. And as you said, Mark, each first down means a couple of more minutes potentially off the clock.
Nothing much doing this time as they tried the little counter play. No gain. Carry that time, I think, was Ken Tyson.
Ken Tyson, right. A little different look by the Trojans as they've been giving it to Randy Kinder on that counter. This time they give it to Ken Tyson. No room for Mr. Tyson over there as the Warrior defense stays home on the counter this time. They're right where they belong.
You'll notice Nathaniel Ide running back into the huddle right there. Instead of having linemen or backs or ends shuffle the plays in and out, he runs over to the coach on every single play. And it looks like his cadence has drawn Rice off sides again. He'll run over to the coach. Here he comes now on each and every play. We'll walk over to visit with the coaching staff. We'll be given the play, and then runs back in and tells his teammates.
Well, he doesn't just come out of the huddle a little ways. He comes all the way over here to the sidelines to see Coach Smith. Make sure that he gets the proper play call. He'll be a tired young man just running sideways.
With the penalty yards, it'll now be 3rd down and 3 facing East Lansing. The football is right on the midfield stripe. And that's going to be very close. Going to depend on the mark. It looks to me like they have marked forward progress for Mr. Kinder far enough for the first down.
Well, here you see just a straight ahead play, a lead blocker in there for Randy Kinder. Down at the bottom of the pile, Mark DeMaria makes the tackle. Just enough yardage for the first down for Kinder that time. And as we said, not a big yardage play, Mark, but extremely important as the Trojans maintain control of the ball and begin to eat up those minutes, and we're down under 9 minutes now.
Hyde gives off to Kinder again. Forward for 8 or 9 yards inside the 40 and down to the 38 of Brother Rice.
Once again, up front for the Trojans, Brian Zubak, Will Smith, Tim Koffold, Mark Lankos, Mike Nags opening some nice holes. Randy Kinder, of course, carries the mail and takes advantage of those holes. But let's credit those guys up front. They're the ones that win and lose ball games for you, and any coach will tell you that. A lot of good work being done by that Trojan offensive line.
2nd down about 2. You know, they're not really big, 6'1", 190 pounds, their average up front, but they work extremely well as a unit. First down yardage, Tom Sudden gives Randy Kinder a breather. 1st and 10 now at the 35 of Brother Rice, and the clock continues its march downward. 8:05 still to play as East Lansing looking for their first MHSAA state championship.
And all of a sudden, Mark, field position-wise, we're getting down in field goal range for Mike Core, as not only are the Trojans eating up that clock, but they're picking up some yardage here. They're down in scoring territory.
Hit in the backfield as Kinder still manages to fight forward for a couple. Going to be 2nd down 8.
Well, I think Sean Johnson defensively made the first contact that time. able to slow down the ball carrier, Kinder, as he went up inside, and by that time his teammates recovered defensively and get over to help make the stop.
Those East Lansing offensive linemen, the kind of guys I know you love to have, 190, 185, 195, 200 pounds, just good, solid athletes.
Well, they're all about 6'1", also, Mark. Just good, raw bone size and great quickness once again as they really get off the ball. In fact, so quick. We've had 3 penalties against them so far in this ball game. They're getting off just a little too quick.
Randy Kinder, 8 yards on the carry, and had that great forward body lean that you like to talk about as he ran with his body leaning forward all the time. And Ross Dingwall tells us that that's the 2,000-yard mark now for Randy Kinder. 135 in this ball game, 2006 on his season. He just bangs forward for another first down as the Trojans of East Lansing beginning to look unstoppable now here in this Class A state championship game.
Well, they have controlled the ball almost 6 minutes now on this particular offensive drive, and with that first down, we'll go well over the 6-minute mark as they continue, unless we have some type of a turnover, and obviously the Trojans are not about to put the ball in the air. They're going to continue to hammer and bang at that defensive wall for the Warriors.
Ide leads them up, gives this time to his dive back, Sudduth, and he'll have about 2 yards down to the 21 where it's 2nd and 8.
Once again, Sean Johnson down there defensively, along with that interior down front for the Warriors. Mark DeMaria, John McGuire, Mark Matson. Boy, we've seen some great defensive players today, Mark. It's really been a defensive ball game, and we've seen some excellent play on both sides of the ball.
I tell you, Brian Hartwell continues to impress me, number 49 from his end spot for Brother Rice. Looks like he calls the defensive signals as well. He has worked very, very hard. 2nd down 8, 5:20 still to play in this one. Rice needs the turnover. A little trouble in the backfield, and Ide finally has to just fall down with the football. Somebody got mixed up, and when Ide turned around, there were 2 backs right in his face.
Well, once again, Ide comes over to the sideline. He'll get the information he needs from Coach Smith. See if we can straighten things out. But big play now defensively for the Warriors as they would obviously like to get the ball back. We're under 5 minutes already as the Trojans have really eaten up the clock on this particular possession.
And it looks like 5 free yards for Rice this time as a couple of players on the right side for East Lansing are in motion a little too soon. So 3rd down and about 13 now. We're probably in 4-down territory. I have a feeling that Jeff Smith would not risk kicking a field goal and perhaps have that blocked. He might rather just go ahead and run his 4 plays. And
well, I really like the tempo that the East Lansing Trojans use, Mark. They run out of the huddle, up to the ball, snap down. They're ready to go when the quarterback gets up under center, and that ball comes out of there in a hurry.
Draw play is to Sudduth. Carries down to the 21, which is the 5 yards lost by penalty. It's 4th down, and I may be wrong. We've got a big group of substitutes in, and we might be looking at a field goal try here. It will be about a 39-yard field goal. Mike Core has kicked one 45 yards, so this is not out of his range. Matt Cunningham is the holder. Hits the goalpost.
Boy, plenty of distance, plenty of leg by Mike Core. Just a little bit off center as it hits the left goalpost, the upright, bounces back onto the playing field. Here you'll see it again, a good snap, a good hold, good kick. Core keeps that head down, drives the ball at the goalpost, and here you'll see it catch the left goalpost, hit it right square and bounce back into the field of play.
Oh, he did have plenty of leg. That was 12 or 15 feet up the post there that he hit it. And with 3:35 to play, desperation time for Brother Rice. They trail by 2 touchdowns. Merchant will throw. It's incomplete. Trying to find Bob George. Stops the clock at 3:32 to play. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Well, the Warriors in that very difficult position, Mark, of being behind on the scoreboard. And, of course, down by way of the clock also. They're forced to throw the ball, and that makes it extremely difficult. Not only are you going to get a lot of defensive rush on the quarterback, but defensive backs obviously are not going to be fooled by any faking. They take a little extra step back at the snap of the ball, looking for the pass. Just makes it hard to throw the ball when you have to.
Gunned over the middle and incomplete. And a big hit by Jason Lockwood as Steve Merchant tried to deliver the football. Caused that incompletion. And we're looking at 3rd down 10. And Rice already faced with giving the ball up if they can't make something work right here.
Well, this is a defensive down player's dream. They don't have to worry about the run. It's just tee them up. Here I come, quarterback. They have a little meeting just before the ball is snapped and say, I'll meet you at the quarterback.
3rd down 10. Merchant gets very good protection. Looking for everything. Matt Allen. Covered defensively by Randy Kinder. And it's 4th down.
Well, Randy Kinder allowed the receiver to get behind him, but Randy Kinder with that great speed able to catch back up as the ball reaches the receiver, but it's just a little bit over both players' heads and falls incomplete. And you're right, Mark, a 4th down, and in that possession and drive that the Warriors had in the 3rd quarter, they weathered about 4 4th down situations in a row. They face another big one here.
Well, they have to go with 3:20 to play. Good protection. Home run ball again. Going to be incomplete. Well, Brother Rice on 3rd and 4th downs, opting not to go for the 1st down, but to look for the home run. Both fall incomplete. The ball goes over on downs to East Lansing, and the Trojan fans can begin the celebration.
Well, they are celebrating already as, of course, the Trojans take possession. Just about 3 minutes, 15 seconds left in this one. And, of course, the Trojans with great field position right here, and all they want to do is run that last 3 minutes and 15 off the clock. I don't think they're too worried about scoring. And they'll keep that running game pounding once again, cover up the ball as best they can. Expect the Warriors to attack defensively and try to strip the ball loose.
Nathaniel Ide to Kinder, bursts up the middle inside the 10. Gain of 11 yards by Randy Kinder.
Well, Randy Kinder once again behind that excellent offensive line of the Trojans. He's got a nice hole there. Mark splits the seam and is into the defensive backfield, has a blocker out in front of him, picks up some big yardage once again. 1st down situation now for the Trojans inside the 10. So it's 1st and goal at about the 9.5.
Clock shows 2:45 to play. Ide to his dive back, spinning is Tom Sudduth. And he has a yard, maybe 2, before the defense caves in on him. Mark Matson, number 55, was there among others. Timeout is called by Brother Rice. They stopped the clock with 2:37 still showing. I'll tell you one thing I like about Randy Kinder, and it relates to the speed, I suppose, Bill, and that is a lot of your good running backs that have that great speed run very well outside, not so well inside. He is very effective inside today as well.
Well, Mark, the bulk of his yardage really has come on inside plays. They've been counter plays that have hit off tackle. He's not really taking the ball outside around the end and turning it upfield. He's splitting the defense about the offensive tackle area and then may head outside after that first bit of offensive penetration once he gets into the defensive backfield. But you're right, he runs with power, he runs with great deception and those loose, wiggly type hips. He's hard to get a shot at. Has good So just an excellent prospect as a big-time ball carrier here. You don't think your home school up there, East Lansing, would be looking for that guy, do you?
Well, you hope so, wouldn't you? They can't miss him. He's right in their backyard. Brother Rice, Al Fracassa, still has 2 timeouts to use. 2nd and goal for East Lansing. Well, I didn't see it that time, but flags fly.
Well, the nose man for Brother Rice, John McGuire, that time, I saw him start. And of course, he's got his nose right on the football. And it will be a matter of did somebody for East Lansing move? And they did. Drew the defensive man offside. Of course, John McGuire looking right at the ball. His nose is right on the ball. And if it twitches at all, he's going. And the flag thrown by the official in the defensive backfield. And that marks the Trojans back about 5 yards. I don't think they really care.
You remember earlier this year we saw a team whose nose in a similar situation here, their nose man just swiped at the football several times trying to force some kind of a mistake. Kinder will fight to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good penetration that time by Sean Johnson. And their quarterback and coach, as Rice calls another timeout, and Jeff Smith will take a walk out onto the field and talk with his East Lansing Trojans. And he's still working the officials.
I guess it's not over until it's over. Obviously, the Warriors know that as they call a timeout here. They're hoping to get possession of the ball. A little bit of time left. I don't have a long way to go, even if they can get it right now. The ball rests at about the 14-yard line. Just 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock.
All of the scoring in this one came in the first half. East Lansing struck first when Mark Langkos, a pulling guard, took a reverse handoff, scored from 5 yards out. The extra point good, 7-0 at the end of the first quarter. And then East Lansing in the second quarter, a 29-yard TD run by Randy Kinder. Extra point again was tacked on by Mike Core. And that's where we stand, 14-0. Each team has had a field goal try that failed. Mike Core from East Lansing had his hit the crossbar. Brother Rice's Michael Rushwin had his field goal try blocked. 3rd down goal from the 14. Still 1 timeout for Brother Rice, which I would think they'll take here shortly if they can tackle. Finally fumbled. Still loose, and I think Rice will recover and will start first down at their own 1.
Well, obviously the Warriors wanted the ball. I don't think they wanted it at the 1-yard line.
No, I think not.
But this has got to be one of the longest fumble recoveries you'll ever see.
Ken Tyson with a pretty good run, spinning and twisting and turning.
And there the ball is loose. It's up to about the 7 right there. Now it's going to go back to the 5. You want it? No, I don't want it. Who wants it? Oh, there we go. I'll take it at about the 1.
5th player to touch the ball. I think it was Willis Marshall who made the recovery. He was the 5th player to try and recover that loose football. And it'll be first down for Brother Rice, 98 yards away. Merchant has it picked off, and back down inside the 5 with it come the Trojans of East Lansing. Scott Duncan, another of those juniors for East Lansing, intercepts the Steve Merchant pass.
Boy, right where a linebacker belongs, Mark, right into the drop hook zone there. Scott Duncan, 5'10" and 160 pounds, leaps up, makes the interception, brings the ball back to about the 3-yard line, leaps over a defender, comes down hard. Boy,
Scott Duncan thinks he's Barry Sanders there at the end of that run, going airborne, trying to take it into the end zone. That should be the final nail in the coffin here. Brother Rice will watch East Lansing simply go down on one knee, down the football, and the clock will continue to move. 1:20 left to play here.
Well, Nathaniel Ide just content to take the snap from center and put his knee down. He's protected by the offensive backs that surround him. The Warriors with one timeout remaining in this ball game. I think they're going to be content to let that clock run out as they're down by a good 14 points here.
Now you see Al Fracassa shaking hands with one of his assistant coaches on the sideline. He knows this one's over and is pleased, I think, to have found his way to the Dome this year, but this one's history. They'll have to snap it one more time.
It's got to give Coach Picasso a lot of pleasure, as we mentioned at the outset of this broadcast, Mark, that the Warriors started out with 2 losses in this season, and at one time were just 2 and 3 as far as the early parts of the season was concerned, and to find yourself playing for a state championship in the Silverdome, that's got to be a real work of art as far as coaching is concerned, and a lot of credit to this Brother Rice team.
And the final snap, this one is history. The East Lansing Trojans defeat Birmingham Brother Rice. The Trojans are your state champions. 14-0 is your final score. East Lansing defeats Birmingham Brother Rice. And here is the blocked field goal back in the second quarter that perhaps turned this game around.
Well, there you see Rufus Jackson. He gets through that line, jumps high in the air to block the kick, picking up the ball. Tom Sudduth, as he legs down the field and was almost away for the touchdown, but that was the opportunity that Brother Rice had to get some points on the board early in this game, and East Lansing, with that strong defense, turned it around. Our key play in this ball game.
All right, our congratulations to both Birmingham Brother Rice and East Lansing. It's the Trojans of East Lansing, your Class A state champions. They defeat Rice 14-0.
Cooperation by remaining off the playing surface before the presentation of the championship trophies and medals. Let's all acknowledge these 2 fine teams for their achievements this year and their play here today at the Silverdome. At this time, we direct your attention to the field where Tom Rasha, Director of Physical Education for the Archdiocese of Detroit, a member of the Michigan High School Athletic Association Representative Council, will make the trophy presentation to the 1991 Class A runner-up, the Warriors of Birmingham Brother Rice. And accepting the runner-up trophy, Coach Al Fracassa. Congratulations to the Warriors of Birmingham Brother Rice on an outstanding season. And now Mr. Rice presenting the Class A championship trophy to the Trojan of East Lansing.